Everyone, Dean Lewis here from Radiant Reptiles Canada. Just hoping to cover a little topic here on Bulbtail. That's the common slang for when the musk glands in a male or female Western Hognose get impacted. Now, this can happen for a variety of reasons. One theory being, and I agree with this, is that in the wild you see it less because you have the animal covering a wider range. They're being scared on a more regular basis, so they're expelling those glands, and also just them being more physically active. So that's one of the things that can do it. Now, there's others, like such as it can be from having them shipped. But I mean, in that case, it should be a very small bulb tail, and you'll see what I mean. I give an example here. It's not the best example because we don't let our females ever get that out of proportion, but yeah, so shipping can do it. Sometimes after egg laying, they can get, it's kind of, think of it like snake hemorrhoids. It can get a little bit big in size. Also bacteria, if your cages aren't clean, that can be another indicator right there. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be any of these cases. Another thing is I've got females myself that every year, once or twice, we have to expel the glands, and that's just who they are. Certain individuals are more prone to it than others. So I wanted to cover that. Now, it can also happen with males. It's far less common, but I've seen it myself in males. And also in the case of males, what can also be is a bit of substrate or things like that can get in there. Not also exclusive to males. I wanted to just mention that because hardly anyone ever brings up the topic of it happening to males. As a forewarning, the dogs have been crazy tonight, so I'm hoping they're not going to wreck this video. Now, let's see. So what I recommend doing is, first of all, don't do this right after the animal's eaten. I'd wait a minimum for 3 days afterwards. And what you want to do is have a container, something like this, depending on the size of the animal. As you can see, the water is not drowning the animal. There's enough room in there for them to curl up and get out of the water, but that most of their body is going to be submerged. Now, the water needs to be warm, not too hot, but definitely not cold, because the warmth will help soften up those glands. Because what can happen, sometimes the musk, you'll see it is when you're pushing it out, sometimes it can almost be a little bit hard and clumpy. So the heat can help, oh, there goes the dogs. The heat can help break that up a little bit. Also, it's helping relax those muscles, so you're not, forcing anything. And the big thing here is you don't want to be rough, right? You never want to squeeze the sides of the snake because they're basically a sack of ribs. So you definitely don't want to do that, but you need to be persistent with it. In a case of it being a bad situation with the bulb being large, I would soak 2 times a day for at least 3 days. And about those 2 times, I would say about 10 to 15 minutes each. And in the case of a bad situation, I wouldn't even try manipulating it all for the first 3 days. Okay. Now, this isn't a very bad situation. This female just came out of brumation, so this is really common for her. This is one of the females that I mentioned. It's not much of an extreme case at all. Heck, I could probably even get away with leaving it. On that topic, dogs are getting into everything. On that topic, it has been mentioned on one of the reptile pages that, oh, just leave it, it'll go away. I have never seen this once happen. If anything, it's always gotten worse. Now, as far as a really bad situation, like the bulb's just massive, I wouldn't even try to fuss with this yourself. Take the animal to a reptile certified vet, and what they'll do is they'll poke a needle in there and they'll drain it for you. But in the terms of it not being a bad situation, I don't see why there's any problem with you taking care of it at home by yourself, so long as you're confident in doing so, or if you can get help from a more experienced keeper/breeder in doing so, that will also help. Now, another thing I think I should address too is on the Hognose page, it was said that, oh, this doesn't affect their well-being of life or anything like that. I, once again, would argue against that. I've actually had to do a very minor drain on a female before she was able to pass eggs. She just sat there like a lump and wasn't doing anything. I noticed that she had a bit of bulb tail going on. I very carefully drained that, and then immediately after she started passing the eggs with no issues. So that to me says that it can affect laying. The other thing being is I've noticed in people that I've seen online with cases where they've got bigger bulbtail, the snake's constantly having their tail up like this. Well, that's not a natural position for a Western hognose to be in. So to me, that says that it's affecting their way of life. Not massively. No, I don't think they're going to die from it. Although, speaking to a number of vets, they have said that bulbtail can be a result of an infection. And in that case, then yes, it is affecting their way of life. So some people might not agree with this, and that's okay. This is for the people who actually want to do something about their snake's bulbtail. Okay, so I'm going to stop this video and then I'll start it again with showing the snake in question. I'm doing this all one-handedly. It's better if you can have a friend to help you out to hold the upper half of the snake, and then that way you can focus on the bottom half without a lot of flailing or anything going on. She's already been soaking for over 15 minutes while I've gotten this video ready, so she should be good to go.